1-868-275-8359.
Or 1-868-288-1108.
And remember, your health is your wealth, and prevention is always better than medication.
Just for you, so real, get that perfect smile. Beauty's in every aisle to take care of your body. We have all you need to stay healthy. Yeah, more to learn. Yes, it's true. Pennywise, just for you.
Pennywise gives you more to love.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
So welcome back on the inside. If you're just joining me, you're locked on to the Street 919 FM. This is your Titans of Democracy. And with Dominic, Romain, and Bruce Wayne, I'm just going to continue in The Guardian, and then I'm going to hand you over to Dominic for just a bit while I go and straighten out some stuff and come right back. So, headlines in The Guardian: curfew rages. So let's get on the inside and see what's taking place. So, man killed by relative during argument. The victim has been identified as Ricardo Otley of Douglas Trace, Sparrow Drive, Simeon Road, Petit Valley. Okay, that story was from also in the Newsday. Residential Care Association worried about finances. The Trinidad and Tobago Residential Care Association, TTRCA, said yesterday that some of its elderly homeowners are facing a financial crisis. SATT completes first leg of vaccinations. Okay. Doctors report 25 cases of multisymptom inflammatory syndrome in children. Carnival stakeholders willing to help in vaccine rollout. Okay. More roadblocks coming. Police to crack down on pre-curfew rush. TCL to maintain cement prices at this time. That's great news for me. Very good news. Smooth reopening of hardwares and bookstores. Amalgamated ships 35,000 bottles of water to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Apache shot dead in Enterprise. ANV probe not over for cops. Investigators coming to help. Teen fined for breaching curfew to visit sick mom. Professor warns of serious post-COVID issues after virus. Preparations for SEA exam. Invigilators on the way. Santa Flora teen missing. And these are the stories that are making way in the Guardian, the Express, and the Newsday at this time. So I will now hand you over to Mr. Dominic Romain.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I sent you two.
I'm not here.
I sent you.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, I sent you two.
Yeah, let me see. Oh, you sent two? I think I sent over one just now. Let me see. Okay. Oh, I just sent the first. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Two of them kind of linked. Yeah. But one, I just wanted to touch briefly on one of the one of the stories, the headlines that you read with respect to that Pfizer vaccine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I see that as, well, I would have mentioned on Sunday because it is a story that would have originated on Sunday. Morning, Angie. I would have just mentioned it on Sunday morning because I knew it was going to become a topic based on where it originated, right?
Okay.
So on Sunday morning, the man who is really competing hard to become the national nuisance, Philip Alexander, would have done a live where he claims that he would have gotten this document, right? Purportedly, it is some letter that was given to some person who he says brought in the vaccines and so on. And he claims he got it in his email, along with information that Customs had seized the vaccines because Customs didn't know anything about it, and this one didn't know nothing, the ministry didn't know, and the embassy didn't know, and all of that. And he thought that, hey, I have an aha moment, I catch them, right? So he says that when he got this document, the first thing that he did was to send it to the Commissioner of Police, and he informed the Commissioner, well, I'm sending it to you for investigation, but I'm going to go live because, as I said, he figured he have something. Does this live and then figure, well, I got you. I saw it, and saying, there he goes again. So all day on Facebook, he only posted, well, 9 o'clock tonight, Sunday night, he going live. And he's going to reveal the real, as Dane used to say, okay. Bruce, so Sunday night, my boy come all hot and sweaty, right? Going and bust the mark and thing. Start a rant and rave, you see him. Well, about 10 o'clock, somebody sent him the release from the U.S. Embassy. Now, man, deflate like a balloon that you pop. You only was the cry. The man, wax poetic. He ended what? Disappointed because he thought, this thing, we had to break the seal and we had to break the lid on this, and how can this not end in here? And he continues to push his rhetoric. But again, I make the point that, and as I would have said on Sunday, that there are a lot of people in this country who have seemingly adjusted their mental frequency to tune into anything that is anti-government. You see, Bacchanal and Couture, they love that. And he is like the local Scooby-Doo every day, sniffing all over the place, looking for a conspiracy to unmask. And at the end of the day, it ends up being a big nothing. And you know that journalism in this country has gone to the dogs when it is that the so-called senior journalists in this country are pushing a story based on a man whose credibility is in the dump heap. Right? So he is making claims that, Customs didn't know and Customs seized the thing and all kind of thing. Where is the evidence of that? Because you produce a document that you say you got in your email, but everything else that you have claimed, you fail to produce any evidence on that. But the members of the illiterati so lapping up this. And there's such an embarrassment. The unpatriotic nuisance Congress that a whole set of their supporters, Bruce, gone on the Facebook page of the U.S. Embassy to cuss out the embassy, to tell them how they corrupt. Yeah.
Wow.
I went to over 200 and something comments on the Facebook page of the U.S. Embassy.
Wow.
Or the U.S. Embassy is PNM and they're trying to cover up for the government. And that is an embarrassment. But they think that the U.S. Embassy not reading these comments, but I hope they read it. Look at the Facebook profiles of all these people who saying these things and accusing them. And when next their visa come up for renewal, take note, put a note on the system. Just go ahead and see, let me see, our visa. All right. Oh, that's what they say? All right, no problem.
And?
With you. Yeah. When you do this and you know, and I'm sure a lot of them have visas, but not thinking that. But you go on the Facebook page of the people to tell them all kind of thing, accuse them of all kind of thing. Really? But I expect nothing different from the illiterati. embarrassing the country. And they're allowing the Pied Piper of mischief to lead them down that road. So he come back again last night. But last night he was, oh gosh, because I guess he was hurting whole there. He thought, hey, I catch them. Well, man, he take off last night and Fitzgerald Hines, because all of them vexed because Mr. Hines said in the parliament last week, if COVID had a face, it would be the UNC. Well, they tooting on that. They vex. Well, if I could have found something worse than COVID to compare them to, I would. I always say they are a basket of deplorables, and I make absolutely no apologies for that. And if you want evidence of how much of a basket of deplorables they are, as I said, just go on the Facebook page of the U.S. Embassy and see. Well, let them continue their foolishness.
Okay, yes.
But I'll probably touch on him maybe Sunday, maybe. If I play mischievous. Yeah. Let's kill him dead, he was. But anyway, so he needs somebody to deflate that ego of his.
Dominic, I'll leave in here for 5 minutes or so and come back.
All right. Let me see, boy. I was wondering if I should play that because the first video is about 2 minutes something, right?
Okay. Let's see.
All right, so how about to just play the first video, just about 2 minutes and something, and then the second one I'll tell you where to play it from. So that should take up the difference at the time, right?
Okay, cool.
This first video, I don't know if you would have heard about it. There's a young man who is a spoken word poet, and apparently he's a comedian as well. Okay. Would have, he did some comic relief something on channel, on WESN, which I believe is Louis Leesing's television station. Mm-hmm. And he had a piece where he was bad talking or ill-speaking Tobago. And it has caused a bit of an uproar. So much so that the chief secretary would have responded. I saw the minister of education also responded to it. And Fali Augustine, among others, would have also spoken to it, right? And people upset in Tobago because of the content of what he said.
So this
guy...
The first one is where they say man insults Tobagonians. That's the first one? Or the first one is Fali?
The first one is the guy who they say insult.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Apparently, that station, they have like a weekly something where they feature a different comedian every week now, but amateur comedians.
Okay.
But this guy is no stranger to controversy because last year he was he would have surfaced last year during the election campaign. Mm-hmm. And he would have done a spoken word advertisement for the UNC, and it would have caused a bit of uproar. And then he would have gone on Facebook, because they were sharing the post on Facebook, and persons were some people were upset about the content, and then he went on the post, and under it he put, but he's a supporter of the PNM, he just do a work. So the UNC offer him money, and he did it, So he has resurfaced again, and this piece that we're about to play is causing a bit of upset in Tobago, and to some extent Trinidad as well. Because there have been a lot of people in Trinidad who've condemned it, but what I will play further from Fali Augustine will speak to that issue. So you can go ahead and play it. It's just over 2 minutes.
Okay.
Alright, I want to bad talk Tobago for a little bit. What to do with Tobago? Like, when we gonna stop, pretending they're important? I know you're thinking, oh gosh, but listen, I come in here and I say good night Trinidad, and nobody bat an eye. Nobody say, excuse, what about our sister Isle? Nobody say that. If you think about our country's name too, Trinidad and Tobago, if you just think about it embedded with us, Tobago, not important. And I know you're probably thinking, hey Kyle, barrel harsh, what you saying that for? But if somebody come up to you and say, you have a Tobago face, will you be offended? Yeah. They hate us, Tobagonians. I don't know why. But I walk up into Chiz's Chicken in Tobago and I say, hello, may I have some napkins? You're from Trinidad. I don't know how Tobago is. So I learned to read at a young age, so it's hard to get the accent if you're literate. Everybody relax. Comedy. So I think they feel like we better than them. Yeah, I mean, your beach is nice. We have one secondary school. Like, bro, everybody in Tobago is passing their first choice. But we, like, as a matter of fact, think about their national bird, a cocorico. How low your self-esteem have to be to walk up to a Down syndrome pigeon and be like, that's it, that's the one, write it down. What? So maybe the song would make me said better. I think it was. I guess everybody saying hi. Yo, it's real harsh. Oh my God, what you doing? But listen, I will apologize to my sister Isle, to every Tobagonian watching this right now. All earlier gathered around the village TV. I am sorry. I'm joking. I love Tobago. No, for real. I love Tobago. I met my fiance in Tobago. For real, true story. I'm not saying Tobago. Don't worry, she's not Tobago. She's attractive. I met her over there, and my life get good. So Tobago always have a special place in my heart. I met my fiance there. I mean, usually in a crowd I would like get claps. Yeah, yes, that's right. We're getting married. That's I just really excited to be in a good, healthy relationship.
Yeah, Bruce.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not trying to get the next one up to play.
Right. So you would just play that one from about 21 minutes.
Okay.
This is Falia responding to the young man.
All right. So hold on. From about how much you say?
From about 21 and a half minutes, 21 minutes thereabout.
Inside, okay.
Yeah. You know, and I play that because I think I found it very disappointing that for somebody who is aspiring to be the next Chief Secretary for Tobago, to be talking this kind of talk and pushing division just to advance the PDP's cause for perhaps full Tobago independence. They're looking beyond internal self-government, Tobago autonomy. They're talking about secession.
How long is it running for?
I'm not going to play the whole thing. I might just play maybe about 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
That somehow Tobagonians, we speak badly because we have a different linguistic outlook and upbringing than Trinidad, that somehow every Tobagonian is ugly. I've heard Calypsonians that sang about every Tobagonian knows Predway like what on the face and all kind of thing. I have heard the disrespect before from other comedians, but I see some English lit teachers on the live, and any English lit teacher or anyone who did English lit knows that when we were studying Shakespeare and we look at what happened at court, there was always what we call a court jester or a comic or a comedian at the court. So the jester was always there at court, and the jester always had a responsibility to not just make people laugh, but to always speak his truth in a way that no other person at court could, because the kings or the queens will seldom kill the comedian or seldom kill the jester because they see the person as just a comedian, but they tend to use comedy to speak truth. You see, Kyle spoke his truth because what Kyle spoke is what almost every Trini has subconsciously, unconsciously tend to take into themselves. I see people like Theon on the chat. I can remember Theon doing a post or going up against some Trinis who were trying to rank Trini beauties and where beautiful women came from. And somehow the beautiful women could only come from parts of Trinidad where people are brown skin or look like the mulatto or French Creole or European descendants, or they have mixed breed. And somehow, if you're from Tobago, you could not dare qualify to have some of the prettiest girls in the country. And somehow, as an island, we don't ever stand up for ourselves, except on rare occasions like this, when all we could do is become keyboard tigers and cuss out a Kyle and get riled up. But we need to get riled up. This issue is bigger than Kyle. Kyle is symptomatic of the system that is Trinidad and Tobago. Kyle is a reflection of what this country has always been since independence. Tobago never wanted to be joined with Trinidad. The truth is Tobago has a culture and history that is closer to the Eastern Caribbean than it is to Trinidad. So Tobago never wanted to join with Trinidad. And then when it did, and Trinidad was looking for independence, nobody from Tobago went along with Eric Williams and them to fight for independence for Trinidad and Tobago. We were not a part of the framing of the national constitution, the independence constitution. We were not a part of the Republican constitution framing because no one saw us as being important. We belong to a country where our first prime minister thought that Tobago should be the place to just mine goats, that we should not fight up with Trinidad, we shouldn't be spending money to fix Tobago after Hurricane Flora. That's the reality of our existence. So why are we going to pretend today like what Kyle said is so outrageously uncommon, when what Kyle has said today is so very common but sad at the same time? So hear what I say, forgive Kyle, and you have to make it your duty to educate every single Kyle that is out there. You have to make it your duty to not just be proud just today because Kyle upset you, but you have to be proud for always. You have to make it your duty, if you are a teacher on this island, to ensure that the children that you teach understand their history and understand the life they live and why they live that life. I am not saying I was the best teacher this island ever had, but I could tell you one thing about Speyside High School where I taught, and why I will always big up Speyside High School as one of the best schools on the island. As a teacher at Speyside High School, I used to be allowed to take my sixth formers and my students out of the classroom and to walk through the whole village of Speyside with the students. And you know why I used to walk through the village? When I used to teach development studies to sixth formers and teach macro and micro fundamentals of an economy and so on, I will let the children walk through the entire village with me, pointing out the areas of development, pointing out the areas of deficiency, pointing out what we're lacking, pointing out what we have advantages in. Speyside High School used to allow me to do that. We had sometimes a week where we would cut off all the regular teaching and we will bring artisans from all over the island. We used to call it Art Week. We'll have it once every calendar year, every academic year, and we will not teach anything, not even maths and English, and all teachers and students will sit together and learn from granny and auntie and mommy and uncle and all the people around the artistry of Tobago. We will learn that collectively. At Speyside High School is the first place I saw school children baking in dirt oven. And I'm saying that should be more than just once in a while for Tobago school. Tobago has responsibility for curriculum.
Dominic? Dominic?
Yeah, you can stop with that, Bruce.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be right back.
I know.
I say I'll be right back.
Still in it.
Serious? How come everything up here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I say I'll be right back.
Right. Right. So I would have seen it fit to Trinidad and Tobago to play that little clip there. But what the part that really drew my attention is the claim by Mr. Augustine, who is aspiring to be the next chief secretary for Tobago, talking about what this unfortunate comic piece that this young man would have done, where, I don't know, he probably thought that it was smart, cheeky, to talk what he talked about. And I agree that it was insultive to Tobago. But for Mr. Augustine to make the assumption or to make the assertion that what this young man said is reflective of the thinking of the majority, as he says, of persons in Trinidad, to my mind is even more unfortunate than what this young man would have done. All right? Because that type of talk, I remember the PDP has a following. They would have gotten over 12,000 votes in the last THA election held on January 25th. They have supporters. I would probably say to some extent their support is growing. And they are right. All Tobagonians are right to take issue with what the young man said. But this view that is reflective of the thinking of the belief of the majority of Trinidad and Tobago, as I said before, is unfortunate, because you're pushing seeds of division between Trinidad and Tobago now, causing Tobagonians now to probably hate Trinidadians, especially your supporters who just seem inclined to hang on your every word and that of your leader, Watson Duke. But that is not correct, because there are a lot of people who promote Tobago. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of people who will admit that there's a lot of things about Tobago that is better than Trinidad. We will admit for a long time I've heard people say that Tobago is held to a higher moral standard and a higher moral code than Trinidadians. There are a lot of people who hold to that view, albeit that, that position has come under question given the amount of persons who would support Watson Duke. But that is their right so to do if they want to continue to support a man who's been very disrespectful to women, a man who is loud, boisterous, and so on. I don't need to give you the running list of characteristics of this man. We all know it. But that is an inaccurate statement for him to make, that the wider Trinidad and Tobago, that the wider Trinidad is of that view. And I want to ask Mr. Augustine, if you think that is such an appropriate statement to make, what would have been your position? Or how would you have felt if, when Chris Moore made the statement, when Trinidadians come to Tobago, put Visine in the water and give them diarrhea? If it is that somebody of influence or position in Trinidad had done a live similar to yours and said, well, forgive Chrislin because what Chrislin just said there is reflective of the wider views of the majority of Tobago towards Trinidadians. That the majority of Tobagonians believe that when Trinidadians come across there for holiday, for vacation, for a little relaxation, to patronize Tobago, that we should put Visine in the water and give them diarrhea. What would have been your position? Obviously, you would have taken umbrage to that, right? And again, I stress the point that as somebody who's aspiring to be a leader, if it is that your intention, your focus is on secession, because as you said before, Tobago never wanted to join with Trinidad, and that nobody from Tobago supported or went with Eric Williams to get independence for Trinidad and Tobago. You make the point that the cultural history and so on of Tobago is more aligned with other Caribbean countries as opposed to Trinidad. Tells me that you're not willing to make it work. But that is your personal view. And I find it almost laughable that you can make such a definitive statement with respect to the first Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Eric Williams, to say that his view was that you shouldn't develop Tobago after Flora, implying that Mr. Williams's position was that Tobago was perhaps some backwater ward of Trinidad and therefore it wasn't worthy of being developed. When you were probably, based I think on your age, you weren't even around when Eric Williams was Prime Minister. I think you would have been born after he died. So your comments with respect to what the position of Mr. Eric Williams was with respect to Tobago certainly isn't based on any empirical data, because this is the first I'm hearing of that was Mr. Williams' position. But if somebody knows better, perhaps they could tell us. I don't know. Because I too would have come after, Mr. Williams, and not long after. But the fact is that is an incorrect statement to make. Again, I'm not too familiar with that whole history surrounding the independence and so on. But I believe that Mr. Robinson, former Prime Minister, former President Robinson, would have been a part of the PNM at one point in time. And I've never heard anybody say that he was against Trinidad and Tobago getting independence. So that being the case, and given the influential position that Mr. Robinson would have held, not just in Trinidad, but internationally as well, in the establishment of the International Criminal Court, certainly he's one of our more distinguished citizens coming from Tobago. And I would think, if it is that he in fact supported Trinidad and Tobago getting independence, and that whole statement that you made there is a total falsehood. But again, it speaks to what the PDP offers. Where is your condemnation when it is that you had your supporters like Bernie Gregg doing a live every time the Prime Minister has a press conference? She has to give a running commentary afterwards. And just before Easter, when the Prime Minister would have had conversations with the Prime Minister and he would have made the statement about Tobago is the place to be for Easter. And then she did a live, again, your supporter, talking about how Trinidadians come into Tobago to give Tobagonians COVID and kill out Tobagonians. Where was your condemnation of that? I just asking the question. So, rightly so, you take issue with what Kyle Hernandez said. I too took issue with it. I found that bit of comedy was in very poor taste. But that type of position from somebody who's aspiring for the highest office of leadership in Tobago should be condemned. And as a Trinidadian, I take issue with that, because you're not speaking for me, because that is not my position at all. Not my position. I don't think that Tobago is any less. As a matter of fact, I think Tobagonians are more strongly rooted in their culture than Trinidad. And I would say that as a Trinidadian. He talked about a little further on, we didn't play that part, about Carnival being more based on Port of Spain and is more of a Trinidadian thing. Okay. But Tobago Heritage Festival is Tobago. That is uniquely Tobago. There is no, as far as I'm aware, there's no element of Trinidad in that, and we don't begrudge that. As a matter of fact, I think it lends to the uniqueness of that. That is intrinsically Tobago. We have no problem with that. Trinidadians do complain about that. We would come across to Tobago to experience that Tobago culture. Whenever I go abroad and have the opportunity, if I have to promote Trinidad and Tobago, I wouldn't talk about Maracas Beach as much as I would talk about Pigeon Point. And we know a lot of Trinidadians hold that view. If you have to talk and compare beaches in Trinidad and Tobago, Pigeon Point is the place to go, and they have other beaches. We talk about the Nyland Pool. I don't think we don't have anything in Trinidad to compare to that. So we recognize that Tobago has its unique features that need to be promoted and that stands above things that we have in Trinidad. So for you to make that statement is, to my mind, extremely unfortunate. I don't have to call it as I see it. Or I would have seen the response of the Chief Secretary of Tobago as well, who in his response on social media would have made a similar statement. Not as lengthy, but he would have mentioned that what Kyle said is reflective of a wider opinion across the waters, meaning Trinidad. And again, given that there is no empirical data to support that and simply a view, because a lot of people in Trinidad who will review that, that Tobagonians snub Trinidadians, that Tobagonians hold themselves to a higher standard than Trinidadians. Okay, that is how it has always been. But again, I am strongly condemning someone in the position of Ali Augustine making a statement and trying to characterize Trinidadians as, in the main, the majority, holding out that Tobagonians are lesser than. But I guess it took something as unfortunate as this to bring that out. But we see And I understand why it is you're promoting that, because, again, the PDP's position is about secession, that Tobago and Trinidad need to go their separate ways. Country of Tobago, country of Trinidad. And you've seen an opportunity now for you to profit from this and to advance that cause because of one unfortunate young man. Well, you too, sir, your statement, to my mind, is very unfortunate. Bruce, you got to open the line for a little bit. I have another issue that I wanted to touch on, so I guess we'll take some calls in a minute.
Okay, no problem. We have a call on the line. Caller, good morning.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Morning to you, Bruce.
Morning.
And the defender. Mother morning. Grandmother in Tobago, Mr. Landy, the whole of Tobago and everybody. Since we are dealing with Tobago, my financial guru, thank you. So let me see if I could add anything to that. Tobago, from being a Trinbagonian, Tobago, from living in Trinidad, if you want to get Africanist, go Tobago. Not so? If you want to know what Africanist is, that's why they have Tobago Heritage Festival, not Carnival. And because to me, from my point of view as a Trinbagonian, Tobago is more African-oriented than Trinidad. Won't you say so, gentlemen?
True.
All right. So let's how to put it? Let's go into what Mr. Farley, what Dominic just explained. Who goes to the population that goes to Tobago most of all? Who boasts years ago that the largest population of Trinbagonians go to Tobago is of what race? Who boasts of that? You understand my point? So if Farley is referring to Trinbagonians, then he had to be talking to one particular race. Because they boast if 100 people go to Tobago, they boast that 70% of it is them.
Yes.
Not so. So then who is he referring to? You understand, the UNC for years, or the opposition for years, has always been trying to put Tobago, even under the People's Partnership, try to put Tobago separate from Trinidad. You know why? Because the two seats, a man made a decision. And I would remind my grandchildren and my great-grand once I'm alive. A man made a decision on moral, and here we're going on. We have a next Tobagonian inside, just as dark as he is too. Made a decision on moral, it was 1818, was it? A president at the time made a decision, 1818, you know. So we are divided. He has given away his two seats. His seat, and a lady in seat, I forget her name, Pamela Nicholson was her name, and made Pan Prime Minister. In so doing, they made him Minister Extraordinaire. And he went to Africa. When he come back, they gave him all kind of name. He bring back a hat and a stick and a thing. Boom, he became president. God foresee that. And made a decision on moral. Hear what? Moral and spiritual values. And he put who in charge? Mr. Manning. What that tells you about the opposition. Gentlemen, enjoy your day. Tobagonians, all they catch all yourself, you know. This is all their last chance. After that, and Watson, you take all your and go, I want to see how all they surviving. We're only going to take the oil and carry it. The gas and oil that all they making noise that all they want more for. And then all they... Anyhow, gentlemen, thank you very much. Enjoy your day.
Thank you. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Bruce. Good morning, Dominic. Good morning, the Batter. Good morning, the Trinidad and Tobago, the whole of Bonnet Gardens and Monco. Morning. Well, Bruce and I'm Dominic. I didn't think nothing about that because I know the majority of Tobagonians ain't want that at all. It's only one or two of them, and them themselves want that it's just noise they want to making to get in the political seat. But the majority because the majority of people in Trinidad have a grandmother from Tobago, the great grandmother, the uncle is somebody. So that ain't gonna work at all. One or two of them like Farley and them, there's something wrong with them. Anyway, let me say love to my few friends. Good morning, Mommy Sauce. Good morning, Party Street. Good morning to Jackie and Jackie. Miss Friday, good morning, Miss Peacemaker. Miss Gloria and Miss Faizabad. The lovely people of Tobago, good morning. Romain, good morning. Girlfriend, and those who are Mafia, get up. And love to everybody. We ain't leaving Tobago. Tobago ain't leaving we. We tie like two chains hook up together. We ain't moving. Love the friend Tobago, Sharon. Gone.
Manu.
Manu is tears. No. Caller, good morning.
Morning, Bruce. Morning, Dominic.
Morning.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, concerning the whole thing with the Kyle Hernandez, I think the guy name.
Yes.
He was a man from UWE and stuff like that, and I know he did promotion for the UNC. But I honestly believe that Kyle and them did that in order that the thing coming up in Parliament with the Tobago the thing for Tobago, and I believe he did that. They had that in plan. He did that so that Fali and them fellas could push their agenda. I too honestly believe that, because the way that it go wrong and how they play it, and I think they get a lot of airplay and that thing, and I believe that so that Fali and them could comment on it, and you see the road that Fali go wrong, and that is what Buchanan road that they're going on all the time now, that they will be able to capitalize on that, to brace Trinidadian and to show that they want independence so that they could influence the people over there. So I honestly believe that was done, because you know how Kyle is to me, he's a supporter of UNC, and I do UNC plan all the time, and they know what they're doing, and I believe so. I could be wrong, but I believe so. Thank you, Dominic, for allowing me this contribution.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Caller, good morning.
Morning, Dominic. Morning, Bruce.
Morning.
I want to endorse all what our callers say. This thing looks like a plot, you know? But at the end of the day, I mean, the business people in Tobago, you understand? Even when the world going through all kind of economic downfall and all of that, it's Trinidad majority of the time that's full of the Tobagonian economy, all the guest house, all the hotels, majority of the time is what it is called local tourism. That's full. So that thing was Falian and getting on with, all they need to fix sense of that nonsense Tobagonians wake up and don't let Falian them carry all down the road of destruction. But I want to change gear a little bit this morning. I'm calling on Mr. Prasad Misesa to stop inciting violence in this country. As a political leader, you should know better. You're trying to insurrect this 1990 business. It is awful. It is distasteful. And I'm hearing on the television this morning, people trying to make excuse for that. You understand? These people, I want people to understand in Trinidad what it is going on. These people will do anything to destabilize this country because of power. And my grandmother always teach me, when people want power so desperately, it's people to watch. These are people to watch. They don't have good intention. You understand? So, Mr. Stadmisasa, you need to come out and give the public a public apology for this nastiness that you're trying to incite in this country. Right? The people reject all here. And what you're doing, you're only putting yourself down a hole more and more and more again. You understand? Or they're not doing nothing. Imagine your idea of a proper vaccine rollout thing is to have a drive-through. When you don't take this thing, people have to sit down, people have to do all kind of things, check with the nurses and all kind of things. This is your idea, this is what you're pushing, that you so different than the PNM, that you have this big master plan compared to the PNM. Well, you're not pack of stupidness, or you're just stabilizing this country. But I want to tell all you, great is the PNM and we will always prevail. But as I talk, locked on and listen, thanks.
Yeah, man, bless. Caller, good morning.
Morning, Bruce. Morning, Dominic, Sharon, and everybody else. Dominic, what I have to say this morning from those two clips, the three first one, the fellow, whoever who spoke then, he need to speak more about his grandparents, who apparently came from this little island. But you see what Mr. Fali did? I don't know if the lead lady heard him to know that he sinks tourism right down, because what he should have done was to pick out some places and explain to the man how nice Tobago is. He could have described the Buku Reef to its people, Some people never came. Let them know they had to go out in deep waters and just come out and stand up in the ocean. They can't do it anywhere else. And go on with all the tourist sites and everything that goes on here. That is what he should have spoken about. Not to carry Tobago down in a gutter that he alone did this, he did this, and he did that. And the first Prime Minister he calls him to go high school free with all his education he has. And I have plenty more to talk, but the point is, there are more people to talk, so I wasn't able to continue. I'm going out. They take like me. I used to do that. I was talking on the air. I used to take bread and sell, walk village in the morning, Dominic, all want bread, they take 12 cents bread, 6 loaves of bread. Me go me do domestic work, I talk in make a local thing, tell her no. For much years, I had leave school, I was 14 when school closed in July, September month, I didn't go back to school. I had a school leaving certificate. And I did domestic work, and I went into nursing, and I head up to be a ward sister of a ward, I will do maternity, deliver some of the babies, and do other things. So let you not talk anything and cigarette Tobago, and anything. Let he talk about himself. Everybody here developing themselves, who's selling in a parlor and doing something. Okay? Let you take that. So me I know what you're talking about. Okay, right.
Caller, good morning.
Good morning to you, good.
Good morning, Mr. Porter Spain.
Good morning to you, Dominic.
Morning, sir.
You all hear me clear?
Yes, we are.
Loud and clear.
Well, this morning, really and truly, gentlemen, and good morning to the listeners, home and abroad, 919, Mr. IWER George, and all the members of the staff. My heart goes out with Mr. Wendell Eversley. Mr. Wendell Eversley, if you're listening, God bless you, my brother. You imagine that an opposition leader, no relevant whatsoever, Dominic, she must believe that we come from La La Land or somewhere. And then we see a member of parliament this morning dribbling like a bumblebee. After asked questions, can you answer the reason why that was relevant? 1990. You could imagine that, gentlemen? I want to let us put all your head backward. You remember the black man and drunk? Do you remember the statement by the very said opposition leader some months ago? This is the same turnover like a boomerang. Shamelessly, I should say. In this country, we are living in the light of COVID, and the only relevant this opposition leader have is 1990 and how people suffering, not mentioning the kind of money that we will have to pay in the next 4 weeks concerning her statement and the attack on Tetrotrin, with Tetrotrin being the gas, with Muriel making accusation, failing in its view to link the Prime Minister with the fake oil. Well, gentlemen, let me say today is one of the days that I'm so happy that we have a program 919. For those who are doubting it, listen to this, what Dominic Bruce has been bringing forward this morning. And I want to end with this. We in Trinidad and Tobago must commend this government, the Prime Minister and the Minister head, because of the fact that there was not, I was advised, I didn't know, and how it went. But Dominic, the other fellow, is so shameless. If it had 10 days in the week, he would have said that night. And I'm talking about Mr. Pinal coming and commenting yesterday and saying that he banned from a different frequency. I listened to it when the host said, once I am there, you hear my voice. do not call on. You know, you have a problem with that? Well, you didn't have a problem with the Prime Minister, the opposition leader, saying that Mr. Hines is an incompetent a member of Parliament. But you know the vex with Mr. Hines now, because Mr. Hines went, and they say no constituency in, and you know what? And oh my gosh, all I get off the radio by now, all a week, senseless, you know? So Dominic, again, we have the black and black. We stupid. Mr. Wendell Eversley, God bless you, my brother. Thank you very much, Bruce, for allowing me this continuity.
Thank you. Caller, good morning.
Hey, Bruce, morning.
Hey, brother, morning.
Good morning. How you doing, man?
Yeah, coming along, man.
All right, let's pray for him. Leave it in God's hands, brother.
Yeah, man.
Dominic, morning. Morning, Mr.
Morning.
Teresa Conliffe, Mommy Sauce, Miss Cummins, Clement Coco, Jennifer, Pearl in New York. I listened to Dominic this morning, right? And what he played the clip. And Dominic, you asked a very good question. We need to do some fact checking to see if Mr. Robinson was with the doc when he went up for independence, and the DLP, which was Capitol, didn't want us to get independent, right? So I think Mr. Robinson was in that trip for independence for Trinidad and Tobago. So we will do some checking on that. Also, you know, Farley talking, but when Satmaraj used this statement about Tobagonians lazy and all they do is walk the beach for white women, I hear Farley say anything about that statement, Bruce and Dominic. When the Satmaraj used that statement on Tobagonians, he didn't say anything. How come now he's jumping up? You understand? But it's the 2 seats, as somebody said, thereafter. And also, Bruce and Dominic, as Mr. Porter-Spain mentioned, the AV drilling, a big case was arbitrated out judgment for them against Petrotrin, and that was under the PP government Act 2017. Money have to be paid. But what happening with Ram Logan and Ramdeen case this month? We want to hear what's going on. We ain't hearing anything. And also, Mr. Eversley, feel very, very sympathetic to you this morning, because I know 1919 is a psychological disturb for a lot of people, citizens. And to hear a former prime minister coming back and talk about 1990 and bringing back those memories to the citizens is very, very, oh man. Let's pray, man. Let's pray we get a different opposition leader somehow. All right? You all brothers have a nice day. Listen to the program.
Yeah, man. Take care. And Dominic, with that, we go to a break and we'll be right back.
Put your hands in the air. Wave your hands in the air. Put your hands in the air. Put your hands in the air. No matter what we do or say, you know we gonna find a way to take the music DJ play. All who wanna wise say yeah. Feel the spirit in the air. Oh, we're moving without fear. Sometimes could be such a lonely place. Rise up, lift your head up high, show the world your face. Hold on to that hope inside of you. If you want peace in Trinidad and Tobago and the world, I want to see a hand up. When the hand up, one day my music will unite. Remember today, yeah.
TNT. We want a safe and happy TNT for this Carnival 2K5. If you agree with me, let me see if we are palm in the air. Show me the palm that Jah gave you. Show me the 5 fingers. And then we'll sing with him there. You're singing as one cause, one love. We'll be going side to side, watch it. Sing it together now. Hey, oh, hey, remember day. Hey, oh, hey, remember day. Hey, oh, hey, remember day. Bring it down low for me. Point your finger. One day my music will unite. Fighting will be no more, that's right. One day my people will know love, and this war will be over, and love will fall upon us. Yeah! It's all about love, TNT. The Caribbean. I'm gonna deal with a situation right now. Fellas, you love women, right? You love your woman in your life. Yes, you love your woman in your life. But sometimes in your life, you might get a little banker, you know. It has some woman that will break your heart, you know. And I have some advice for you, right? I have some advice for you. This is the kind of woman you need to...
Simpsons Memorial Limited, number 63 Eastern Main Road, Laventille. Internationally accredited funeral directors and embalmers. A full-service funeral home serving families of Trinidad and Tobago and internationally since 1945. At Simpsons Memorial Limited, we serve with dignity in assisting families in honoring the memory of their loved ones. Our services include professional funeral and pre-planning, burials and cremation, custom-built and imported caskets, coffins and cremation trays, cemetery management, limousines, mourners cars, grief counseling, web streaming of funerals, fully air-conditioned chapel with live musical accompaniment, full global shipping and receiving of loved ones. We specialize in facial restorations. Call us anytime, day or night, at 623-8688. That number again is 623-8688. Simpsons Memorial Limited. Superior service, always with excellence.
Take me to the king. I don't have much to bring.
Looking for a safe and relaxed professional massage therapist and nutritionist? Look no further. Nature's Touch with Empress Judy and Associates offers a natural approach to better health. Treat yourself to a professional massage therapy and nutrition advice in a safe and relaxed atmosphere. Rejuvenate your body, mind, and soul at Nature's Touch Therapy. For an appointment, please call or WhatsApp 1-868-398-8282. Or visit our Facebook page. Remember, your health is our responsibility at Nature's Touch.
More to love, yes it's true. Pennywise, just for you. So real, get that perfect smile. Beauty's in every aisle to take care of your body. We have all you need to stay healthy. More to love, yes it's true. Pennywise, just for you.
Pennywise gives you more to love.
For some, today is just another routine 24 hours. To others, today is first page in tomorrow's story. It's the audition for tomorrow's performance. It's the spark that ignites tomorrow's change. The perseverance for tomorrow's breakthrough. The first like of tomorrow's big hit. Never take your today for granted. When life is on, those who truly believe in the power of today can become anything tomorrow.
Be mobile. Just be.
Hey, you keeping safe? I hope so. I don't really know what will happen when everything will back up, but the line had to go on. But in the meantime, just come online with the live wire. I'm on the Street 919 FM every Saturday from 5 to 8 p.m. Or you could check us out on the live on Facebook at the Street 919 FM or on YouTube at Street TV. Don't forget to share the live. That might just be as important as you keeping safe. So mask up, sanitize, tune in to the Street 919 FM, Lime on the Live Wire, Saturday afternoons, 5 to 8 p.m. Don't worry, I gonna be home in time for the curfew. Keep safe.
Turn your lights down low and listen to the Master's Radio.
The Church of the Firstborn Assembly Miracle Center of number 399 Eastern Main Road, Waiko in San Luis Grande is pleased to present Pastors Morris and Agnes Johnson and guests on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Sundays, Ministry of Worship Children's Hour and the Word from 1 to 6 p.m. Tuesdays, see Jesus in every book of the Bible from Genesis to Revelation from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Wednesdays, we deal with current affairs from a biblical perspective from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell everyone. For further information, visit with us at www.churchofthefirstbornassembly.org. Facebook, email us at church668hope@gmail.com or call us at 753-1113 or 236-7271. Your free will gifts and offerings will be greatly appreciated. Account number 795222 at the First Citizens Bank.
Now there's a new way to pay your electricity bill.
Quick pay your bills today. Quick pay, it's a whole new way. Online, pay your bill one time. Yes, there is a whole new way to quick pay for your electricity. Yes, they made it easy. Just enter your account number. 4 clicks and it's over.
Introducing Quick Pay, a new service from the Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission that lets you pay your bill online with your credit or Visa debit chip card. Just enter the account number and contact information. Click Pay and you're done.
The Street 91.9 FM brings you today's tips to improve your financial literacy. Improving your financial literacy is a never-ending endeavor that needs to be prioritized. As you work on improving your financial literacy, it's important to continue your momentum. Here are your tips. Pay attention to your fees. Understanding the fee structure and the amount you have been paying on a monthly or even annual basis in regards to fees associated with financial services is extremely important. Account service fees, annual financial planning service fees, investment account management fees, you name it. If you haven't reviewed and audited your fees yet, I recommend that you sit down and make this a priority. That was your financial tip brought to you by the Street 91.9 FM.
Share the line. Share the line. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the line. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the line. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the line. The Street 919 FM.
This is the Street 919 FM COVID-19 updates. In case you missed it, the latest COVID positive cases in TNT as of 14th June 2021 stands at new positive cases 259. Total active cases 9,164. Total recovered patients 19,141. Total positive cases for COVID-19 as of March 2020 to present 28,982. Follow the Ministry of Health COVID-19 protocols. Wear your mask, sanitize, social distance, and avoid gatherings. A message from the Street 919 FM.
Yo, this is your boy Ziggy Rankin, and right now you're listening to the Titans of Democracy. You don't know. Real talk.
Titans of Democracy on the Street 919 FM.
So welcome back on the inside. You're locked on to the Street 919 FM. This is your Titans of Democracy. Dominic, Romain, and Bruce Wayne. Dominic?
Yes, sir. So before we went to the break, the last caller, he would have pointed out the fact that, when Sat Maharaj had made that most unfortunate statement, that ridiculous statement about Tobagonians only jumping on the ferry, the $1 million ferry, to come to Trinidad to buy market stuff and go back, and about Tobago men and so on. He reminded us that Trinidadians did come to the defense of Tobagonians, shut down SAT. They poured hot coals on SAT for that, so much so that he caught a sedition case. Right? Didn't agree with that. We didn't support that foolishness. But they should bear in mind and remember who it was that refused to condemn SAT and who remained in his corner, who always remained in SAT's corner. So that's. But Bruce, I have always heard, if you want the best crab and dumpling in the country, go to Bay. I don't eat crab, so I don't know. But that's how I do.
Neither do I. I don't eat crab. Well, I can't, so.
Yeah. If you want the best blue food meal, go to Bay. The best red mango in the country, go to Bay. And I've always said Tobago are very loving people. I have experienced that. Once you deal with them right, they deal with you right. I know people who have left Trinidad to go to Tobago, and they tell you that's the best decision they ever made in their lives. Sometimes people go to Tobago for vacation and tell you they didn't want to come back. So again, I just want to disagree with what Mr. Augustine has said and make the point again. We know what his motive is. They have an agenda. He and his political leader pushing hate. They want to push secession and anything that they could use to create a wedge between Trinidad and Tobagonians to try and see if they could get more Tobagonians to rally behind them, behind this cause that Trinidadians don't like Collier and they think the worst of you all. And this guy is just reflective of that fact. So let us push to move away from Trinidad. We see what it is. And I also want to agree with Mrs. Crosby. Perhaps Farley should retain her as his advisor. That the better thing to do, the most sensible thing to have done would have been to come and use that opportunity to promote Tobago and talk about all the good things that Tobago has to offer instead of the nonsense that you come to push to encourage more and more people so that to increase the likelihood that Visine in water, But you didn't condemn when one of your own sought to put down one of your own when Vanilla Allen Toppin went after Dr. Rowley. That was okay, right? What was your position on that? Did you have a position on that?
Dominic, these guys, not everybody could play chess, right?
Yes.
It is a game that requires a lot of strategy, a lot of thinking. But let me take it down a notch. Draft.
Yes.
Everybody could play draft.
Mm-hmm.
But mind you, draft is another strategic game. You have to think as well. Everybody could play it, Everybody go in. And at a point in time when you realize a man make a move where you could just keep bouncing over all he knobs and take everything, you decide to make a move opposite to that so that somebody else now could come and bounce knobs all over you.
Yes.
Like classic notishness.
Yes.
This is what I tell you. These guys just have an opportunity to hold on to the people, to grab the people, get the people on their side if you want to put it that way. And all they do is when somebody come and start trying to create fire, the fire ain't going away, Them coming with gas and throwing it. Say, look some gas, them throw on the fire and help you out. And then come to talk a set of nonsense after the fact. I don't know, I really don't know.
Yeah, well, Begonians know what they need to do when the next opportunity presents itself, right? But I wanted to touch on two other things quickly, Bruce.
Yeah.
So I see the conversation continues about the vaccine and so on, right? And all the conspiracy theories that are out there. And it seems never ending. As a matter of fact, I'm surprised at the new conspiracy theories that I hear every day. So over the weekend, one of my contacts on Facebook put out a post, and he was asking the question, that somebody please convince me as to why I should take the vaccine. Right? So I was interested to read the comments. And he gave about over 50-something comments last time I checked. And the majority of the comments were, of course, against the vaccine, who ain't taking it because you could get blood clots, you could this, you could that, it will kill you. I even saw where Injan Ishmael did a live a few days ago, and he was commenting with respect to the 20-year-old who died, unfortunately, and again, condolences to his family. And he was saying that he's not taking the vaccine because based on his research, the vaccine is going to alter your DNA and that kind of foolishness. I hear some people, one woman saying that there's another virus to come, and the people who take the vaccine, their bodies wouldn't be able to handle this virus because of the COVID vaccine. All kind of madness. But what stood out to me, and that post that guy put out, right, was that there were a few people who were saying they ain't taking the vaccine because the vaccine will kill you, this, that. But they advocated for take ivermectin, right? One woman says she had COVID and she had it real bad and she take ivermectin and in 12 hours time she was good and okay, fine. So I decided to go and do some research on ivermectin to see what's the side effects, right? Because you're telling me don't take the vaccine because the vaccine have so many different things it could do to you. Let me just read fair, right? There's just one of the things. Ivermectin. What is it? Now, I've seen, and I know we would have mentioned it before, right? On another show. Because some video came out where they're saying that people using it and it helping.
Yeah.
Ivermectin, right. So they say here, ivermectin is an oral tablet that is used to treat infection of parasites. And these include parasitic infections of your intestinal tract, skin, and eyes. What are the side effects, the serious side effects of ivermectin that the people who telling you, don't take the vaccine because the vaccine could get a blood clot and kill you? Okay. Pain in your neck and back. Serious eye problems. Serious eye problems symptoms can include redness, bleeding, swelling, pain, loss of vision, shortness of breath, inability to control urination, inability to control bowel movement, trouble standing or walking, confusion, extreme tiredness, extreme drowsiness, seizures, coma, low blood pressure, especially when you get up after sitting or lying down, lightheadedness, dizziness, fainting, severe rash, blistering skin, peeling skin, nausea, vomiting, loss of appetite, pain on the right side of your stomach, dark urine, yellowing of your skin or the whites of your eyes. They continue. Trouble breathing, swelling of your throat or tongue, skin rash. And the list continues to go on. Gastrointestinal bleeding, right? But don't take the vaccine because you can get a blood clot. But take ivermectin, right? That's the way to go, Bruce.
Wow.
You know, these same people go by the doctor, Bruce. They ain't feeling too good. They go by the doctor and they say, Doc, I ain't feeling well. There's my symptoms, whatever. And the doctor write a prescription, take that. And as they leave the doctor office, they go and buy the pharmacy and they buy. They feel like going by the pharmacy and say, well, here now, tell me when this thing now. What's the side effects of that? No questions asked. They take it. A simple thing, common drug, aspirin. Pull up that too. You see the side effects for aspirin. And people who take aspirin as a blood thinner. I saw where they said that while it could help you to reduce the risk of getting a stroke by a clot, it could actually cause you to get a stroke based on a burst blood vessel because it could increase the flow of blood in your brain and all kind of thing. Okay. But we don't ask any questions about this. Yeah, nobody's saying don't take aspirin. Nobody say don't take Panadol. Some of these people, if they get sick and go in the hospital and they hook them up to IV, asking, nurse, before you stick that, what's in that? Yeah, they're asking, no. Just give me it, yes?
I want to live.
Once it better, give me it. All of a sudden, now they know to do research into pharmaceuticals. Everybody is an expert and can tell you they say a research.
Sure.
Bruce, it's really amazing, you know. And the thing that I find even more amazing, what they're doing the research on Google, right? You go on Google and you type in whatever. So you find 1,000,001 reports, 1,000,001 articles that telling you why the vaccine ain't good. But you ain't see one that say the vaccine good. Not one. Right? You get what you look for. If you're looking for negatives, you will find that. If that is the mindset that you push in and you want something to support that mindset so you could convince yourself you're making a right decision not to take the vaccine, well, then that's what you would find. But what we cannot dispute is the fact that right now, the United States economy is opening back up, right? And when you look at the figures in the U.S., whereas before they were reporting daily new infection rates of over 100,000 to some, then 60, 70, 80,000, now they've come down to less than 10,000 a day. And the number of daily deaths has come down from 2,000 and 3,000 a day. Then on some days, under 200. And why is that? Because persons have taken the vaccine, they've relaxed the mask mandate, right? And now they're opening back up there, and we're seeing these things, we're seeing the improvement. As a matter of fact, yesterday, India would have recorded some of the lowest figures where, for the first time in the longest while, they had under 1,500 deaths for the day and less than 100,000 new infections. And if you look at all of the countries that are vaccinating on a mass scale, you're seeing that improvement in terms of their numbers. But you have people here, but around the world too, saying, don't take it. So what's the alternative? We should all decide, well, we're not taking no vaccine. And what we should, well, there's the only alternative to herd immunity. Everybody get it, and you would build a natural immunity to it. But in the process, there will be more casualties. Whose bodies can't deal with it, they will die. And those of us whose bodies are stronger, we will survive. But if it is that you are prepared to see a death toll of 100,000, 200,000, well, okay. That's okay with you all. But you see the anti-vaxxers now relaxing because while they're bumping the gum and talking about the vaccine this and vaccine that, they're happy for the rest of us to go out and take it, because once we reach herd immunity based on that, then the rest of them, they can rest comfortable by having not taken it. So we are the ones who are making the sacrifice so that the economy can open.
But Dominic, there are people who I saw my counselor will put up something about a guy that you coming out on Facebook to tell people don't take the vaccine, but you were vaccinated.
Yeah.
I don't understand these people. What is really going on?
Yeah. I saw over the weekend Harold Fabian would have put out a post that he's not taking the vaccine for now. Bruce, my position is if you are somebody in society whose voice carries weight, whose opinion carries weight because of the position that you hold, shut your mouth. That's your personal decision. Keep it personal. We don't need to know. Right? Leave it to the people who is a choice. And contrary to what some people are saying, there is no legal mandate that is forcing you to take. If you don't want to, you don't have to. The state cannot force you to take it.
And
so don't take it.
There's the next thing too. A lot of people, you see when people start to talk things that they don't know is one thing, but you see when they start to talk to other people about it.
Yeah.
I sat down in a vehicle recently and again, the conversation going on that they're forcing me to take it. I say, we are not being forced to do anything. I say, check up the islands.
Yes.
And hear what the head ministers are saying up on that side. They're letting you know Franco meant. One of the things, you have no pension to get, don't even look for that if you ain't take it.
Yeah.
That is not being told to people down here. They need to stop spreading these fake, out-of-timing, non-factual news. Because you're all spreading nonsense.
Correct.
What one of the individuals went so far as to say that they were told that in order to come back out to work, they have to be vaccinated. And there's an article going around, I think it was issued by Miss Thomas Felix, right? Saying that employers cannot do that.
Yes.
What they can do is encourage you to take it. You know?
Yes.
But
the president, Deborah Thomas Felix, made that abundantly clear. Employers cannot force you to take it.
Right? What they can do is, they could encourage you to take it. Show you the reasons why you taking it would be better for you and everybody else around you.
Yes.
The thing about it is, you see a lot of instances where people talk about not taking it, and then they contract the disease, and then they come back and when you look, they're first in the line.
Yeah.
And as I keep saying, if you don't want to believe that there is COVID-19, believe that there is something out there taking the lives of people, and any kind of people, it doesn't matter who. So we have to be mindful of that. I don't know.
But we are fortunate, Bruce, that it seems for the time being that the majority of persons in Trinidad are open to taking it.
Yeah.
Well, based on what we would have seen last week, Wednesday, as unfortunate as that was, So another 200,000 doses would have arrived yesterday, and in short order, that will 100,000 of that is going to be reserved to provide second for the persons who would have gotten the first 100,000, and right. So the rest would be used to inoculate.
Yeah.
According. So yeah. So we're on the way. I mean, I just hope that I find the US is dragging their feet a little bit to make that decision as to how much they're going to send, because I see they've revised the amount that they want to give from 80 million upwards now to 500 million vaccines, but that's going to be over a 2-year period. But the hope is that by then, yeah. So I think they're looking at giving something like maybe about, and then the UK as well has also indicated that they are committing something like 100 million to give out. But you have a lot of these countries, Bruce, that would have been engaged in hoarding.
Yep.
Countries like Canada that would have hoarded some 3 times the amount of doses required for the entire population. And now that as the expiration date approaches on these vaccines, now you're looking to give it out. The result of your greed. Because other countries, how many lives could have been saved if you all had been so licorice and engaging in that foolishness? So now you all want to. All of a sudden, you're playing humanitarian and you want to give away. But we understand why you're doing it. It's not because of this sudden, you've now been overcome by this sudden feeling, the sudden rush of being magnanimous. Because you're going to end up looking bad when it is that you have reports that you're dumping millions of doses because you were too damn greedy.
Dominic,
it's really unfortunate. But
we have a caller on the line here. Caller, good morning.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Bruce. Good morning, Dominic.
Morning, Zina.
Morning to all listeners and callers. You know what I am saying is that this vaccination thing, I don't see anybody have to be forced to take it. And I don't see any employer should make any demands on people to take it. It is for you as an adult to know what you want, what is good for you, and what you feel you could contribute to the nation. And I'm telling you, I'm not saying I wouldn't take it, but I am saying that people ought to make up their own minds about what it is. And you see why I feel they cannot make this thing mandatory in your country is because there are so many theories out there and so many doctors that you read that saying what it is about this vaccine. And that, remember, they have told us that the makers of this vaccine, these vaccines, are not accepting liability. So what happens if it comes into your country and you force somebody to take it and they die as a result of taking it? What does the family have to go on as a result of that? As well as this, they say, is helping you, the person, to have the immunity enough to fight it. But what about it is not preventing you from getting it? So you have to weigh the pros and cons. So I don't see them, forcing anybody to take it. But it would be better if the country has herd immunity. You understand? So let them go out and do their education drive on it and see how many people they could get. But I don't see employers having to force you as a worker to take it. It's up to you. Because the same way they feel you could get it and spread it to them, they could get it the same way and spread it to you. Because it is not something that when you get it, you cannot get COVID. So all of us will have, if I'm a worker, all of us would have to take the test every 2 weeks if that is the case. So, it just as long as it's wide. But I am for people taking it, as many as could and who won't, because it will get the country up and going again. That is what people feel, but you can't force people. I can't see them making it mandatory. That is only my take. Thank you. And as for the fellow who spoke about the peace on Tobago, he's just one of the donkeys that we have to just allow people like them to breathe. Because in that brain, it have nothing else more than maybe foul air. Thank you.
Thank you. Caller, good morning.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Bruce. Good morning, Mr. Dominic.
Morning.
Morning.
Let me say something. Mr. Dominic, to me, PDP means People's Dotage Party and People's Illiterate Party. So I don't really study them. And I just know when Mr. Watson, you go into court. It's really. That is my take on it. I just know when you go into court. Anyway, you see this vaccine thing? I just put people on my triple list when they're telling me they're not taking the vaccine and all the negativity. Somebody raised 3 points in a video to me to tell me it don't have no vaccine for HIV, it don't have no vaccine for the common cold, and it don't have no vaccine for cancer. I said, little do they know that they're doing so much research on HIV that the medication that they're giving you today is having you living longer. And it have a vaccine for cancer, for cervical cancer. And it have the cold, the common cold will be so bad now. Abroad especially, you have to take a flu shot every year. That is something some people don't know. And if you don't take that flu shot, a lot of people just die from the flu in these countries. Thousands of people. Right? Those who waited on this herd immunity thing, I don't think I hear any developed country talking about herd immunity. Because it's killing so many people. Over 600,000 people die in America from COVID. In Trinidad and Tobago alone, it's past 677. Why are you trying to achieve herd immunity? You want so many people die to achieve herd immunity? When you get vaccine, it does not mean that you would not get the COVID. You know, it just would, it would not kill you. And it doesn't mean that you wouldn't spread it. So I who get vaccine and get COVID, and I spread it to you who didn't get vaccine. You have 1 foot in the hole and 1 foot out. Why not have 2 foot out of the hole? That you know you get the vaccine and you know, hey, when I get this COVID, I can fight it and I can live my life as normal. When I get COVID, I have to go under these different machines and all these things. They have different variants now. I couldn't believe my head. I tell a friend, hey, I hear UK going on lockdown again. Because everybody get vaccine and this new Delta variant in England. So you don't have vaccine, you're looking up inside. Because when Carnival here and the borders open and all these things and all these variants coming down in Trinidad, you really think that you could fight off this thing? You're putting yourself gambling that? You're listening to people? Tell your pastor and your priest when anybody that's preaching this thing. Tell them do it less so we could see if you get vaccine or not. Because some of them preaching a certain negativity thing. And when they're done, them going silent and get the vaccine. Okay. You know, people have really evil intentions, Mr. Bruce and Dominic. Them don't really care about me and you know. Them go and quietly take the vaccine and come and tell you they ain't taking it. Put along every negative thing. You know much medication, like how you read that you just take. And some of them can even get you blind and they're still taking it. Sometimes you know what problems doctors is having Trinidad because people just go and medicate themselves by the drugstore. If you see never hold cabinet of medicine. And all I want to tell the doctors, tell them, no, don't take that blood and it would have that medicine and themselves more sick. Come on, my people, I'm going to tell you something. Don't always listen to people. You do your own research too. If vaccine was so bad, why over 400 million people don't take it already? America is over 150 million don't take it. And combined with the European countries, over 400 million people. Israel already vaccinated people in a big way. Come on. Them who created all this, it's bad, it's negative, but majority of them take it. The queen line up to get vaccine. How it's so bad? Come no man, they don't do them thing. If you want to be outside it, only if you want to lock up yourself inside and ain't go nowhere, you could say, I'm not taking no vaccine. But if you want to be out there, And I know my Trinidadian, I know at 80-something-year-old Romain was keeping big birthday party, and Dr. Roddy did now lock down the place. That people, if people listen, we would not have so much death. Some people feel death is nothing.
Okay, my dear.
These are mothers, fathers, so take all the vaccine.
Thank you. Dominic, any words before I take another call?
Go ahead.
Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Bruce. Morning. Mr. Dominic, good morning.
Morning, sir.
I hear that boy from Tobago make a statement about Dr. Williams. About Dr. Williams think Tobago is all what they could do is just to mind goat or something so. But he wasn't really educated under Dr. Williams and they, you know. As you said just now, we should really ask Robinson and these fellas, Fargo and these fellas. All of these fellas were in those days, which we know about. But I remember a statement Dr. Williams made here about Tobago, because Dr. Williams, he never wanted Tobago to be an industrialized country. He always wanted it to be a tourism country, a country of tourism, because of the beauty. So I don't know where this fella get his history from. That's the point I listened to this morning, you know. I don't know where this young boy from Tobago get his history from, but his history is very poor, and you're teaching children that too. And it was wrong to do it, because when you go back and you question Robinson, fact that he played in PNM, his history going through the window long time. I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about separation about. I don't know, because it have no sense behind what he's saying at all. It's very sad. Have a nice morning, fellas. Keep safe and live long.
Amen. Take care.
Take care.
And he's a school teacher, Bruce.
Caller, good morning.
Hey, I'm going to Mr. Bruce or Mr. Dominic.
Morning,
I don't
sir.
see why people coming on the radio and begging people to take out vaccine. I think what a vaccine is an injection. You understand? Do you talk about this country take it and the clean it and do that and you talk about the negativity, the negative part of the vaccine? Why do you talk about that? The lady before not say we don't force somebody. She talk good. Yeah, like you can't force somebody to take something. They come on and job this point. What about the negative points on them in the vaccine? All not talking about. Understand? Maybe talking about the vaccine will do this and the vaccine talk about what the vaccine can do to you to kill you too.
Bruce, let me ask him something.
Caller, you listening?
Is he there?
Yeah, I'm listening.
All right, listening.
Let me ask you one question. Tell me one pharmaceutical, one medication, one vaccine that don't have side effects that could kill you. Tell me one. And anyone that you tell me, I can go right now on Google and pull it up and I can list out a whole list of side effects for you, but that's as bad as what you're saying for the vaccine.
All right.
So then you should tell people, don't take any medication that the doctor give you. Because all of them have side effects.
They have side effects. One Cafanol alone have 150 side effects. One Cafanol alone. Why are you taking something that has side effects? Why are you doing that to yourself?
Dominic, I know. Not
Bruce, I maintain again. Who want to take it, and who don't want it. Nobody forcing you to take it.
Before we go a step further, Dominic.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
Because unfortunately is people like that who telling us don't go and take it, and when they hear the shout, they first in the line.
But today or tomorrow, you get sick and end up in Cuba. I bet you take it though. When they telling you how to go on a ventilator, go get me now, because I want to live. It's only then. You don't care about side effects then because you want to live.
I don't know. Something really wrong, yes. Caller, good morning.
Good morning to you, Dominic. Morning, Bruce. Long time. Don't blame the fella. He's one of them who does jackass of the thing. It's to the ends. And for the opposition leader who is inciting the riot, we were warned about this lady, Mr. Pandy. They were warned about this lady, Mr. Manning. And you see where she got? They want to impose embargo. They want this, they want that. I hope they want jail. Lockdown as usual, my brothers, always keep safe. Morning, Sharon. And blessed morning to the titans of democracy. I'm gone.
Anything before I take the next one, Dominic?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Caller, good morning. Hello. Caller, morning. I know what's going on there. Caller, good morning.
You're talking about due respect. All apologies for your thing, right? But I find people should talk for themselves. I'm not for people, but people comment about the IWER jackass thing and all kind of things. Talk for yourself, my brother. Understand? And who telling me about I go taken when I...
Not today. Caller, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Bruce Wayne.
Oi.
You good, darling?
Yes, I good, darling. I good.
All right. Where daddy going?
Coming to come, man.
All right. Don't worry. Everything will be everything with him.
Yeah.
Okay, Sharon. Morning. Everybody at the Titan, morning.
Morning.
Stay safe.
Yes,
Dominic. Good morning.
Morning.
You feel I forget you? All right then, Dominic. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care. I not going through that, Dominic. I ain't going through that headache. You see that?
Yeah. You know. Well, he should not only not take the vaccine, don't wear a mask either. Don't social distance. Everything that they tell you to do to prevent it, don't do it. Don't wash your hand. If you know somebody who have COVID, right, go by them and sit down and hug them up. Kiss them up. Yes, you do all of that, puppy, because and then you go home, drink your punch and honey.
Yeah.
You're right.
Caller, good morning.
Morning, again. Thank you for that one, Bruce Wayne. Yeah, because we can't allow these people to convince it, because, as I pointed out, why do you think, and if you notice, there's only one group of people, they could take it all they want, one race of people in this country singing this song. One race keep singing the song. The opposition leader ain't taking yet. You know why? Because she continue to promote these. If she take it, these people who like that man who just called it, will make he seem like a fool, because they are going along with that narrative. I saw Inshan Ishmael with this clip, and they go change. So he see the future and telling people about he a goat mouth. Right? One group of people. So I want to, and here with, if I keep telling them, if I'm a taxi driver or I'm an employer and I have 1,000 people working for me and 300 people choose not to take the vaccine, which is more important, the 700 people that I have working for me and their families, or the 300 that decide not to take it? To shut down my company and send home 700 people unemployed for 300 people. Which one you would choose? That is the question. So, as the government said, I no hands out. I want this, because up to now, have you heard the union tell any employer yet, up to this day, that they can't do that? Have you heard the unions yet come out and tell the population yet? I heard somebody from the court saying just recently that, yes, it's against the law, that they can't mandate you to take it, but I could mandate you not to come in with premises. And because you have to wash your hand and sanitize before you go in any supermarket or any business place.
That is what I was saying to somebody. And you were
going on that one thing, checking your temperature. So if your temperature too high and the security you tell you stay outside. So that doesn't apply to being employed. Well, enjoy it.
I don't know. I tell the individual, I say, well, if you don't, if you don't want to take it, well, okay, you look for another job, right? But think about when you need to go to the grocery, you need to go certain places, and the grocery trying to protect the people that patronizing the customers. You understand? All the workers as well.
Yeah.
Is a wider, you have to think, boy, I don't know.
But Bruce, too, you know what's the amazing and brutish thing with it to all the anti-vaxxers? Now, let me say this, I have no issue with anybody who don't want to take it, right? I continue to repeat that. If you believe all of the theories that you're hearing that it will cause this, that, the other, and the next one, you make a conscious decision, that is your right to do. Nobody could force you to take it. In the same way, those of us who do the research and we say, okay, this is the information in support of, this is the information against, I am weighing it, and I'm not just looking at the research, I am looking to see what is happening in the countries where there's significant vaccination taking place, and I'm seeing that their economies are starting to reopen. I'm seeing significant declines in the numbers of daily infections, the number of deaths in the countries as opposed to the countries where the vaccination has not been as widespread, right? And I'm looking at that, and then we make a decision based on that. But some of the people who are saying don't take it, right? Originally, the mindset as to why to not take it was because they were hearing about the blood clots and all of that. Yeah. Before that, they weren't making an issue, but as soon as they hear a couple of people get blood clot with AstraZeneca and die, all of a sudden the conspiracies start to flow. But they realize more and more people taking the vaccines now, and you're not hearing any more or as many reports about people, any side effects to the effect that people dying with blood clots and so on. So now we started projecting the future, new conspiracy theories. Well, 2 years down the road, your DNA will change. Or 2 years down the road, your internal organs will start to collapse. All kind of thing, right? Because, they need to support the claim. It's bad. Yeah. But we realize it now. More and more people getting it, 2, 3, 6 months pass, and we ain't hearing no sort of side effects. All the side effects we were pushing before. So let us now create a new narrative that is in the future, because we could see it's going to alter your DNA, and you might grow 2 horns. A year from now, you wake up and you see horns start to grow out of your forehead, or you might get a tail, or some kind of thing. All kind of thing you're hearing. Yeah, so let us project, or take it. Because the current conspiracy theory is not working, because we're not hearing any reports of negative side effects. So let us project it to the future to frighten people. All right.
Yeah, caller, good morning.
Morning, guys. Morning.
Morning.
Oh, Lord. This thing too heated. I think people should form their own opinion. And there is positives and negatives on both sides. And everybody should be able to form their own opinion, make their own decision. I think it's too, how to put it? It's an argument that I think will never win. Because some people around the world, some people are anti-vaccine. They don't take no vaccine at all, and some people will take anything. So I don't see why the big argument. Everybody in control of their own body. Who wants to take, who don't want to take, don't take. That is my thing on it. If you take it, something happened to you, you still have to live with it. And if you didn't take it and something happened to you, you're there, they get infected, they get whatever, you have to live with that. So I don't see why the big argument about vaccination. So people enjoy holiday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care. Oh, boy.
Right, do your research and you make your choice.
That is it. And just what you said is what I told somebody, a good friend of mine, because he done really tell me, don't go and take it. And I said, nah. I say I went and I organized myself. I do my little research. And him now, not the research. So okay, you do your research and you come up with a decision. I did my research and I come up with a decision, but my decision ain't good. And your decision better. That ain't making sense.
Right.
Where is the democracy in that?
Thank you. Thank you.
People mustn't tell you to take it, but you must tell people don't take it.
Yeah.
And that good.
Mm-hmm.
Man, according to you, you only keep all the damn thoughts to yourself, eh?
But Bruce, I have to say that I would have got my first shot last Friday. It was a very simple process, right? And I was probably out in less than half an hour. The only side effect that I had would have been the next day a little pain on my arm where I would have gotten the shot. But in fact, I didn't even feel when I get the shot because all the time I see it, this whole needle going in the arm. So you see my brace and I tell and I wait to get it. And then next thing I see the woman, I said, that happened already, boy. Right. So, that side effects where you felt a little drowsy. Some people said I get a little fever. I have had no such side effects, you know. So I look forward to getting my my second dose so that I can be fully vaccinated, and because I plan to. And yeah.
Remember I told you what went on with me in 2020 after Carnival?
Yes.
Yeah, I get a little 1 or 2 phone calls or so, hey.
Yeah.
I organize it myself.
When I to have to go anywhere where people tell me if it is I want to travel for 10 days, that my full 10 days I had to be locked down in a hotel under quarantine. That don't make no sense to me. I'm not going to spend nothing, right? I want to be able to go and do what I have to do. And when I come back, I could come straight home rather than having to go to some facility to like, eat bread and cheese for 5, 6, 7 days. I ain't going through that. So that's my choice. I made my choice.
Dominic,
I did my research.
If you plan to make no bread and cheese alone, you're not nice.
It's what I had to do, right? And I could. So, you've made a decision you don't want to take it, sir. That's all well and good. And I hope and pray that you do not get COVID.
Soon I plan to visit my favorite establishment right here in TNT, my home away from home. I want to be on point. You understand? I want to be on point. Look, man, the most I could say is you want to do your research and make your decision that, hey, you're free to do so. But the same way how you don't want nobody tell you don't take it, you can't tell people don't take it and expect them to sit back and listen to you and be, okay, all right, okay, no, I'm not doing that. And I'm not tolerating nobody calling me on the radio station to tell me that neither. Don't call me to tell me that. Right?
Yeah.
Don't call me to tell me that. Especially where my family had a little shake-up this weekend with my dad and all kind of different things I started studying. Don't even come to try to tell me that I ain't trying to hear you.
Right.
I don't want to hear you. I seen things from a different light. You seen things in your light, right? You keep to you, I keep to me. And that is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I guess some people, Bruce, will be disappointed 2 years from now when they realize that I ain't seeing nobody with horns and tails. Yeah. The hospital filled up with people with collapsing organs and all kind of thing. What is going on? Okay.
I don't know.
I'm not going to try and predict like some people. But they're doing any research, okay, fine. As your prerogative, suited.
Exactly.
As one friend of mine told me, they said, you ain't take it, you're still out of there. You take it, you're still out of there. I know. So.
Oh God, Trini South on YouTube, you're entitled to your opinion, right?
Another news, son.
Yeah, you're entitled to your opinion, partner. Right? You could bump your gum from now till when. I don't say what I have to say already. I make my decision and you made yours. Simple as that. I respect yours, so you damn as well know you have to respect mine. That's the end of that. Yeah, and you have a partner too, boy. You're not watching that day, Dominic. Man, have a partner.
I don't know why come here now. They could go on with this 104 ground report. Go and listen to that. Go on and Synergy TV and listen to Stefan Reese. Oh gosh.
According to Miss Felix, it does know when you have a good program, you know.
Yeah. They can't help themselves, you know.
No when you have a good program. I thank you guys for being here with us. I want you to log on every day.
Every day they come in the chat and there's only one they get in and keep back. Blows all your likes so. Man.
Oh gosh. You can't be serious, man. Every time you have to do something, no, don't do this. And when they tell them, listen to me, you need to do it because they don't want to hear you, you know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call the name. I wouldn't call the name to bring the radio station into disrepute. But I remember somebody saying that, you know, there's a particular religion that when they offer you something, if you offer them something, they don't accept it. You know? And I mean, why would you do that if all of us concern, you know, the same higher being, and you teaching me something, and I know something that I could teach you, I'm willing to teach you too. The same way I listen to you, you could listen to me, you know? That is why I say, if that is the case, if I can't give you my experience, right, for what I did, then I don't want to hear yours.
Right.
Simple.
There you go. And then they're talking about Kamala. Kamala ain't take it up to now, and only giving us that cock and bull story as to why she didn't take it. But her husband, who is a doctor who studied medicine, right, he take it. He has a medical background. 3/4 all them who are talking about all the research all they do have no medical background. You only get all the degree from the University of Google Research. And all of a sudden you are experts. But he's a doctor and he take it. Rai Ragbear is a doctor and he say take it. Lacrambode is a doctor, he say take it. All of them, doctors who went and studied for years, and they would have known, they know how to do research and so on. If you didn't do research into that, understand how it works, and they tell you take it. They take it too.
Dominic, by yourself, if the opposition leader takes it, you know what's going to happen there? It's all going to fall down.
Yes.
Who knows if she hasn't already taken it, you know, on the law? And just, you know, if I let everybody know that, hey, I take it, you know what's going on there? That would mean that I am agreeing with the government.
Yes.
That can't work. That bad for business. But folks, we basically out of time today, Dominic. The word for today is give. I am grateful as I give with joy. Giving is the key to living my fullest life. I eagerly accept my good wish, joy, and appreciation, and I feel a deep desire to keep that joy alive by giving generously, serving humbly, and sharing without hesitation. I give with an open and caring heart, knowing that I am not just sharing material goods or even my time. I am sharing the love and care of God through my actions, answering the call to serve that I feel deep within my heart. I visualize the receiver blessed far beyond my gifts, perhaps inspired to give something of themselves in service. Giving gladdens me and draws me closer to those with whom I share my bounty. When I seize opportunities to share my time, talents, and treasures, I help create a world of generous abundance that is a gift to all. Do not withhold good from those to whom it is due, when it is in your power to do it. Proverbs 3:27. And that's all the time we have for today, folks. It was a pleasure being in your company. It was a pleasure having you in ours. Talk to you guys tomorrow, please God. The lovely Sharon, Felix will be in. Dominic will be in the day after that. So, Dominic, as we say, ciao.
Ciao.
Stage, you ready? When we turn them down, tell them some of them never stop again. Come on, yes. Tell them, no. Tell them some of them. You ready? Put your hand in the air. 1, 2, 3, my devil. Shut them devil. 1, shut them devil. Body, man. Smoke and the rain again. I should not make the breakthrough. So let me plan on the roads, can them so. But first, let me mix local now. Jump to the table of global now. All of the doubters want no more. What you say? Say there's some of them gonna stop the thing that I know about yet. truck of music and when it's jam here like this. Everybody, what is there right now? What is there right now to take them with? Take them with. Take them with. I come to push the drum and go around the weekend. What is that? We have to